because now the world is getting more and more global. Like as Holly said, I'm now quoting what Holly said. She said she wanted to be a global citizen, which I wanted to. I want to be some bridge between two countries. So I need to get there to really feel the vibe and feel the pulse of this country.
We love you for that.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you. Oh my God.
So I want to know, I am super impressed with your words and I mean, it's like you haven't been around that long and you are so much acclaimed for your script writing, your TEDx. Let's hear about those things. You have a killer resume. I mean, you're a badass girl.
Thank you. Cool. You mean the script writing and the TED one?
Yeah. Well, first of all, okay. So you were a BroadwayCon speaker, a TEDX Broadway Young Professional, and then you won prizes for original script writing. I want to hear like what the script was about, for example.
Oh, so it's actually a very short play. It is performed in Shanghai, and I won a award for that. But I think that's not because of only me. It's a teamwork. I have to say that. And then it's about a crazy people's dream. It's like a play in a play in a play. So there is a lot of twist. It's a little bit hard to really explain that. And the interesting thing is that when I was in Naples, I meet an Italian student who learned Chinese, and he loved my script, and he just translated it into Italian. So I think I feel so honored that my work has been translated in another language. Yeah.
Yeah, and did you guys put the play on?
Sadly, we don't have the chance, but I know he now is in Sichuan, China, and we just had a really great conversation. But he came to China for teaching Italian. But I still think he also holds a theater dream as I do now. Let's see if we can do something for that play. And I think because that play was written like 6 years. Oh my God, 6 years ago. How time flies. I'm old now. 6 years ago. So I think if I had a chance, I will definitely do some adjustment for that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the States, sometimes it takes years, 10, 20 years to get a script produced. That's just sometimes how it works because you never know it's in development or people
Yeah.
So that's not unusual. And, and now you're going back to a place where you can there's probably an open audience for it, given the fact that there's a lack of, the content over there, it sounds like. So it sounds like it could be the perfect time for you to really run with this thing.
Yeah, let's see. Mm-hmm. I hope so, yeah.
So what is a TEDx Broadway Young Professional? What is that? Did you speak about Broadway?
Yeah, so the first year I came here, I was chosen as a young professional Broadway. So there is a panel, and the organizer invite us, all the young professionals, to get together and to express our own idea about Broadway. And I am the only Chinese student, Chinese people in that panel. Sadly, I mean, I've heard a lot good opinion. Like they said, Broadway should be more accessible. The ticket price should be lower, and they have like all the panel people, the young professionals, they have their own ideas. But unfortunately, I still feel there's a lack of attention of Chinese market. So I tried to be some representation to voice out, to let them know. I think so I said maybe Broadway thing should be more global. I mean, in terms of the theme or the way how they perform. But I didn't really get a lot of response in that penalty. But on the second year, I applied for the BroadwayCon Speaker, and I was very fortunately I was approved. and then I did a presentation about Chinese musical, like Broadway musicals in China in recent 20 years. And I think I feel very proud of myself, and I think I'm proud of myself to really do a presentation for like 1 hour to let American friends know how China now, about the musical theater now.
Okay, that is so phenomenal. First of all, you're right. Okay, you're very forward thinking about the Broadway it needs to be more global. The ticket prices need to be lower because it can access more people and it can grow. The business can grow. Even, I mean,
yeah.
In New York, it's very limited. It's like you're absolutely right. Bottom line. So you probably didn't get a lot of response because people are nervous. People don't like to hear, oh my God, like it's definitely a risky thing to say in that community, but it's really true. I mean, look at the young people today we're much more a global community than we were like, 40, 50,
True.
30 years ago in New York, especially, and all over America. So I say, go girl, you're on it. You're on point for real.
Well, I will keep on doing that.
And thank you. Yeah, thank you for doing that. Get those people, get somebody to listen. Yeah, I'm happy that you did that. I'm that's phenomenal. Okay, I did want to ask you about NYU for a second. I want to go back and ask you if there's any holes in. I know you loved NYU and it was a great program, but is there anything maybe that you thought they could have done better to help you prepare for the real world, aka launch into the real world?
Yes, I think so. So first of all, like, the performing arts system in NYU is actually, in United States, is actually very different from China. Like in here, a lot of performing arts organizations are non-for-profit organizations, right? But in China, it's not the same thing. So the first time I started to learn the program here, I feel very nervous, and I know nothing about the non-for-profit system. So I really spent a lot of time to know more about these things. I think if NYU could offer some international students-oriented orientation about what they will give speech will help. Like at least let us be familiar with the art system in United States, I think. But still, I think the most important thing is not what you've learned from the textbook. You have to experience. So yeah, I think that's what I want to mention.
That's a great point. And when you talk about experience, are you specifically talking about networking? Or getting out into the community? Are you talking about networking? Like, so when you're there, like networking with fellow students and people in the industry, does NYU help do that?
Yeah, sometimes I feel that is a trouble too, because in our program, everyone comes from different field. Like someone comes from maybe orchestra or chamber music or play or dance or something, whatever. So if you want to really have a discussion with these kind of people, like I want to know more stuff about Broadway or musical, there's not everyone knows everything. So sometimes there is a lack of sparkle. So that's kind of thing that I will mention too. Like there's too many different fields in our program, which is good, and at the same time maybe it's also troublesome.
Good insights, girl. And now, good insights, really. It's amazing. You are super smart. Okay, we have to wrap up. So I asked this question for all my guests. What is the one piece of advice you would give your younger sisters getting ready to launch?
2 words: take actions. Really do it. Do it is the best suggestion. Like we are so young, and I know a lot of people, they don't want to get started, don't want to take actions because they are nervous that they will fail or something. But we are so young, we have nothing to lose, so just do it. And you will feel gradually that the more you do, the more people will be willing to support you and really cheer for you.
So let me ask you something. How do you help, or how do I, because what we do at Supergirls, and we help, coach women that are launching and making a transition. What is a good idea for us to help these women that are nervous and that are, worried? I mean, I think someone like you inspires them, right? When they hear your story and all the things you've done. But what are some other ideas that you think we can help them?
What is jumping out of my mind is I think the mentor program would be a very great thing. Because I have searched a little bit about Supergirl, and I feel like if someone really contacts you saying that I'm nervous now, I would like to talk with young people is already in this field, and you can be a platform to transfer her to some people really in charge. I would love to help people or sisters.
Amazing. You're on my list. You're on my list.
Let me know if anyone is interested in musical. I would love to talk with them.
Oh, you would be super helpful. They would be lucky to talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay, before we say goodbye, what is the best way for our listeners to contact you or to stay in touch with you?
I don't use any social media for now, but I would love to share my email address. Actually, that's
okay.
Fine. You can just shoot me an email. So it's edashen0129@gmail.com.
Okay.
Okay. You hear that?
YIHUI, you're amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you.
Oh, love you too. Best of luck to you in when you go back to China, okay? Stay in touch.
Mm-hmm. Okay, stay in touch. Thank you.
All right, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Mm-hmm. All right, sisters, thanks for tuning in to the Hero Whispers. What a treat to hear YIHUI and all of her amazing accomplishments in theater and how she's going to set the Chinese Broadway world on fire. I cannot wait to hear more about that. Thanks to you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next week, we have Miss Jackie Yangwen coming in to talk to us about music and all other things she's passionate about. And she's out in LA, so I can't wait to hear from Jackie. Until then, get out there and slay those dragons.